It's March, and that can only mean one thing. It's really time to get going in our gardens, on our plots, allotments and growing spaces. And today I'm going to start sowing seeds. So I've got some potatoes, and I have mentioned previously that I don't generally chip potatoes, but I have just popped them to start in this tray. These are colleen. I've got 10 seed potatoes, and I've just today popped them in this tray on the just in front of the window here in the shed. I can get those in March, but it's still a little bit early, so I'm going to hold fire, leave them in here for a week or so, and then I'll probably get them in. So let's go into the polytunnel and I'll show you what else I'm going to sow today. So here in the polytunnel, I've started getting things ready. I've gone through my seed tin and I've looked at the ones I want to start today. I've got others to do later on. We are still going to get a cold snap, but today is the opportunity that I've got. So I wanted to make a start. So I've got some seeds, I've got my little propagators, I've also got some water in a watering can, and I've also got my little bottle that I use with a little bottle top, and I've got some compost, which is a peat-free compost, and I've also mixed it about 50-50, a bit less than 50-50, mainly compost and vermiculite. So let's have a look at the seeds that I am going to be sowing today. So I've got some leek, and I've got 3 packets of leek. I've got Oarsman, which are an F1 hybrid. I've got some De Carrington 2. I've sown these before and grown them very nice, and I've got some white Lisbon. So I may not sow all of these, but they're the ones I've got. And I will start those in pots, and then when they're big enough, transplant them on and so on. I've got some carrots. These are Sugar Snacks 54. They're an F1, and I'm going to get those into one of the beds in here. So I'm going to direct sow those into one of the raised beds for a number of reasons. Carrots don't like being disturbed, so they are better off direct sown. And I find here in the polytunnel I have less problems with pests, and of course in a raised bed, a combination of being in here and a raised bed, I'm less likely for them to get got by the carrot fly. I've got some more shallots. Now I've got my shallots going, and I will show those to you. So I may or may not sow some more of those. And then I've got some brassicas. So I've got some purple sprouting broccoli. I've still got, again, I'll show that to you. I've still got some purple sprouting broccoli outside, harvesting it. Oh, it's just lush. And then Will, big shout out to Will, the flying gardener. I'll pop a link to his channel below, and I'm taking part in Will's grow along. So hashtag kalette crazy 2023. Again, I'll pop the hashtag below so you know, and on the screen now. So these are my kalettes. Now I have never grown these before, despite the packet being open, but I did actually send a few seeds to one of my growing buddies, so that she could take part in the challenge as well. So these are the kalettes, and I'm taking part. Wouldn't have grown them apart from Will's inspiration, so thank you, Will. Really looking forward to seeing how your grow along progresses. I've got some more sweet peas. I've got some which are Galaxy mixed, and I've also got some saved seeds, so I'm going to get those in. Again, I did start some off in January, and I'll show those to you. And then I've also got a couple of packets of nasturtium, and I'll be growing those this year, mainly because they're beautiful, but also they'll be great. I will be using them as companion planting, because they're really useful to grow up along with your beans or peas, or a lot of your different vegetables, but really useful to grow up those bean arches or pea poles, to try and keep the pests away from your vegetables. So they're kind of a bit sacrificial, but they're also beautiful. So let's get on. I'll show you what I've already got going, and then we'll get some seeds sown. So these are my shallots, and they're actually looking okay. And you can see the sweet peas, I've had various germination on these. These are about the best, but none of them have been brilliant, which is why I will be sowing some more. So look at this gorgeous purple sprouting broccoli, and there's a few plants and they're all looking great. So I'm pretty sure most of you will know how to sow seeds, but for any of you that are new to my channel and new to growing, I'm going to start with these sweet peas. So I've started filling my pots. I've used another pot to just tamp down that compost. Let's say it is a compost vermiculite mix. I've already got some labels and a pencil ready so I can label them. So we're going to start with these saved sweet pea seeds. So let's get some of those into this pot. So I'm just going to push them down into the soil or the compost, and then I will give them a little covering as well. Let's say I have already got some sweet peas on the go, but I like to have a nice riot of sweet pea colour and of course scent. And I'm going to sow them all. Why the heck not? Because of course we can always save some more seeds next season. I'm just going to use one of these little pots to cover them over. Make sure there's no lumpy bits. Now the reason I'm using vermiculite this year is because as I'm sure most of you have found, if you're peat free, it's really getting difficult to get hold of good quality peat free compost, and I've actually managed to get some fairly decent stuff, but it just doesn't hold the moisture the same, does it? So this year I'm going with the vermiculite to retain that moisture. So that's the sweet peas in. I'm going to label them, water them, and then repeat the process with my other seeds. So I thought I'd get the carrots in next, because essentially what I'm doing over there with the seeds in the pots, I'm just repeating the same process, and you don't need to keep watching that. You know how to do it. So let's get these carrots into this bed. So I've got a trowel, I've got my carrots behind me. Oh, I can't lift it, but I do have a watering can as well, so I can water them in. I've been watering this bed for about a week now because it can get very dry here in the polytunnel. So I've been pre-watering this bed so that it's not really dry. So let's get these direct sown into this bed. So I'm just going to get these watered in, and then I'm going to get back to my seed sowing. So let's get them watered. So I'm going to carry on sowing the seeds into pots. When I've finished, I will probably put some of them into these little propagators, so they're non-heated, but with the plastic trays at the bottom, and then these lovely cloche lids, just to protect them from the cold weather that may be coming and to encourage them to germinate. So I'm going to grab my cup of coffee, I'm going to pop the radio on, and I'm going to carry on sowing seeds. So thank you for joining me. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what you're sowing and growing at the moment. Take good care, and I'll see you all again soon.